What if you were given a pencil that could bring anything you draw to life, but only on Halloween night? Would you draw candy? Creatures? Friends you miss? Or would you, like Lily, learn the true magic and danger of imagination? This isn't just a Halloween story, it's a lesson in kindness, courage, and responsibility. Sparkles, welcome to Storytelling and Beyond, where stories come alive. If you love magical Halloween tales full of fun, giggles, and just the right amount of spooky, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more heart-racing kids' adventures every week. Now grab your flashlight, hold your friend's hand, and let's dive into the magic pencil. It was October 31st, and the little town of Maplewood buzzed with Halloween energy. Witches zipped across lawns, on rollerblades, skeletons danced in the streets, and every porch proudly held a pumpkin with a goofy or ghoulish grin. Children in costumes ran from house to house with candy buckets clutched in sticky hands. But not Lily Patterson. 9-year-old Lily sat on her porch swing, wrapped in a sheet she was supposed to be wearing as a ghost costume. She didn't even care that the holes were crooked. Her pigtails drooped, and her candy bucket was empty, not because it was full of sweets, but because she hadn't left the house. Lily sighed and kicked at a fallen leaf. Ever since her best friend Max moved to another city last month, Halloween just felt empty. She was just about to head inside when she heard a soft clinking sound, like wind chimes, but softer. Lily turned. Standing at the edge of the sidewalk was a tall, thin woman in a long black cloak. Her face was kind but strange, her eyes sparkled like stars, and her silver hair flowed down to her waist. "You dropped this," the woman said in a whispery voice. She held out a shimmering silver pencil, the end of which was shaped like a tiny bat. Lily blinked. "I didn't drop anything." The woman's smile curled slightly. "Perhaps it dropped, for you." Before Lily could ask what she meant, the woman turned and vanished into the breeze. Gone. Lily stared down at the pencil. It was heavier than it looked, cool to the touch, and tingled slightly in her fingers. She hurried inside, heart pounding, not quite afraid, but definitely unsure. At her desk, she flipped open her sketchbook. It had been weeks since she'd drawn anything. Slowly, she sketched a little jack-o'-lantern. As soon as she lifted the pencil, poof, a tiny real pumpkin popped onto her desk. Glowing. Real. With a silly carved smile. What? She reached out and touched it. Solid. Warm. Then she drew a piece of candy, just one peppermint. Again, poof, a candy popped into her hand. Lily's eyes grew wide. The pencil was magic. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She grinned. Because for the first time since Max left, Halloween just got interestingly. By morning, Lily had tested the magic pencil on just about everything she could imagine. Her room now had a glow-in-the-dark ceiling full of cartoon bats, a tiny floating ghost that snored, and a jelly bean machine that giggled every time she turned the knob. But no one knew except her cat, Pickle, who now wore a royal crown and meowed like a Shakespearean actor. "Meow-th, thou must feedeth me tuna, fair maiden." It was perfect. Too perfect. But school was another story. Lily stuffed the pencil in her backpack and promised herself no drawing. No magic. Just be normal. Except, how can you be normal when a pencil that brings drawings to life keeps humming and glowing from your pencil case? During science class, things got a little weird. Mrs. Thornbush, their science teacher, was explaining ecosystems. "And what role does the spider play in the environment?" she asked. Lily's hand hovered over her backpack zipper. Just a tiny doodle, she thought. For science, right? She discreetly pulled out her sketchbook and drew a tiny cartoon spider with 8 boots and a cheeky grin. Just as she finished shading in its eyebrows, poof! A real spider landed on her desk. But this wasn't an ordinary spider. It wore bright yellow rain boots, waved its arms dramatically, and squeaked. Spiders have feelings too. The entire class screamed. Some kids jumped onto desks. One boy fainted into his lunchbox. "What is that?" shouted Mrs. Thornbush. The spider did a little jig and shouted, "I hate math," before leaping onto the whiteboard and tap dancing across the periodic table. Lily quickly slammed her notebook shut and the spider disappeared in a puff of purple smoke. Silence. Everyone stared at her. Mrs. Thornbush narrowed her eyes. "Lily, stay after class." When the bell rang, Lily trudged to her teacher's desk. She expected to be scolded, or worse, sent to the principal. But Mrs. Thornbush didn't look angry. Just thoughtful. She sat down, folded her hands, and said quietly, "That pencil, it didn't come from a store, did it?" Lily froze. What do you mean?" Mrs. Thornbush leaned in. "You don't know, do you? The pencil of All Hallows. It shows up once a year. On Halloween. Only to a child who's missing something deep in their heart." Lily blinked. "Like, a best friend who moved away?" Mrs. Thornbush smiled softly. "Exactly." Then her face grew serious. "But you must be careful. That pencil is powerful. It responds to emotion. Draw something in anger, and you might summon something you can't erase." Lily clutched her bag tighter. "But I haven't done anything bad. Just fun stuff." Mrs. Thornbush looked out the window. "Magic isn't good or bad. It's what you make of it. Promise me you'll be thoughtful, Lily." Lily nodded. "I promise." But later that night, back in her room, the pencil glowed again. And her promise felt like a memory. With a mischievous grin, Lily opened her notebook. She'd had a rough day. She missed Max. She felt invisible. So, for fun, she drew something extra silly, a giant skeleton in a tutu holding a trumpet. "Just one more," she giggled. But as she lifted the pencil, crash! The walls of her closet exploded open as a 12-foot skeleton burst into her room, tutu and all, eyes glowing green. But it didn't dance. It roared. "I am not a joke." Lily screamed, diving under her bed as the skeleton blew its trumpet, so loud, windows rattled 3 houses away. Down the street, Halloween parties came to a halt. The wind changed. Candy scattered. The skeleton stomped toward her window, its bony fists shaking. "I deserve respect." And with one final growl, it leapt out the window, landing on her neighbor's trampoline and bouncing into the night. Lily peeked out, horrified. "Oh, no. What have I done?" Outside, kids screamed as a tutu-wearing monster marched down the road. The magic pencil fell to the floor, still glowing. It was no longer just fun. It was real. And it was angry. Lily grabbed her coat, jammed the magic pencil into her pocket, and tore out the front door, running into the chilly Halloween night. The streets were chaos. Children screamed and scattered like popcorn as the tutu-wearing skeleton stomped down Maple Street, sending jack-o'-lanterns flying and candy buckets spilling. "Behold my triumph," the skeleton bellowed, striking a pose atop a garden gnome. "I demand a proper costume and an audience." Lily sprinted behind him, dodging a frightened werewolf toddler and 2 kids wrapped in toilet paper who'd fallen into a bush. "Wait! I didn't mean to insult you," she yelled. The skeleton spun around, one giant eye socket narrowing. "You gave me a tutu. I wanted to be a pirate." "I can fix it," she shouted, pulling out the pencil. "Let me just draw." But the pencil wouldn't glow. Not even a flicker. The skeleton leaned down. "Only works when your heart is clear, little scribbler. And right now? You're full of fear." With a dramatic swish of its tutu, it leapt onto a mailbox and struck a theatrical pose. "I am taking over Halloween. This holiday needs style." Lily stumbled back. The pencil was useless, and she had no idea what to do. Then, through the crowd, came a familiar voice. "Lily?" She turned. It was Max. He stood there in a lopsided astronaut costume, his hair a little longer than before, but unmistakably him. And in his hand? Her favorite snack, peanut butter pretzel bites. I told you I'd come back, he grinned. Lily ran to him, nearly crying. You won't believe what's happening. Max looked past her at the enormous skeleton now juggling a set of garden flamingos and shouting, "Taste the spice of theater." Oh. I believe it. Quickly, Lily explained everything: the pencil, the spider, the tutu, the failed pirate wish. Max looked at her, serious now. You can't beat magic with more magic. You have to fix the feeling behind it. The feeling? You drew him in loneliness, right? In frustration? Maybe you need to draw with something else. Lily blinked. Hope? Max smiled. Exactly. The skeleton was now marching toward the town fountain, waving someone's laundry like a victory flag. Lily took out the pencil. Still no blow. She took a deep breath and reached for Max's hand. I'm not alone anymore, she whispered. I'm glad you're here. With that, the pencil pulsed in her fingers just once, then began to glow brighter than ever. She dropped to the pavement and sketched fast: a pirate ship with sails made of candy wrappers, a treasure chest full of glow sticks, and a skeleton-sized pirate hat. The drawing lifted off the page in sparkling streaks of gold and green, floating into the sky before bursting like fireworks. The skeleton froze. What's this? From the sky descended a full pirate costume, glittering boots, an enormous feathered hat, and a cape made of midnight blue velvet. A floating ghost parrot squawked beside it. The skeleton gasped. For me? Lily nodded. You're not a joke. You're the star of Halloween. With a delighted screech, the skeleton spun, leapt, and landed in the outfit. A treasure map tattoo sparkled on its bony arm. The ghost parrot landed on its shoulder. This is fabulous. Children crept out from behind trees. Grown-ups peered from windows. The monster was no longer scary, it was dancing, laughing, handing out candy from its treasure chest. Lily looked at Max. I think I finally drew something with the right feeling. Max nodded. Took you long enough? And together, they joined the dancing, skeleton-led parade of joy through Maplewood, a Halloween no one would ever forget. As the skeleton pirate continued its candy-tossing jig down Maple Street, the once terrified crowd now followed him with laughter and cheers. Parents joined their kids in the parade, some donning makeshift pirate hats and waving paper swords. Porch lights flicked back on. Spooky music blared from speakers. Halloween was saved. Not by costumes or candy, but by courage, creativity, and a pencil that had finally been used the right way. Lily and Max walked at the back of the procession, smiling at the skeleton who now bowed dramatically to everyone he passed. You really think it's over? Lily asked. Max tilted his head thoughtfully. Maybe. For now. But magical pencils don't disappear forever. They nap. Sure enough, when Lily pulled the pencil from her pocket, it had stopped glowing. The little bat carved at the top winked once and then faded into a dull silver. The parade led all the way to the town square, where the skeleton pirate climbed the fountain and declared, "This Halloween shall be known as the night of the brave ghost girl." Everyone clapped and cheered. Someone even threw confetti made of shredded homework pages. Mrs. Thornbush stepped out of the crowd, hands on hips, smiling. Well, Lily, I think you've earned your badge in advanced imagination control. Lily giggled. Can that be extra credit? As the clock neared midnight, the pirate skeleton tapped his ghost parrot, who squawked goodbye, and poofed into sparkles. Then the skeleton gave a deep bow to the crowd and crumbled gently into a pile of harmless glitter. Just like that, it was over. The town square was quiet again. Streetlights hummed. Leaves rustled. Lily and Max sat on the edge of the fountain, munching leftover peanut butter pretzels. So, Max said, nudging her. What are we drawing next Halloween? Lily grinned. Something with less roaring. They both laughed. Above them, clouds parted to reveal a moon that seemed to smile just a little. Back home, Lily placed the magic pencil gently into a wooden box labeled, do not open until next Halloween." Then she turned off the light and curled up in bed with Pickle the cat, who still spoke Shakespeare in his sleep. Parting is such sweet sorrow, unless you hath tuna. And somewhere, in a wind-blown corner of town, the mysterious cloaked woman watched through a silver mirror. "Another heart, guided," she whispered. "Until next year. Sparkles." Thanks for watching this magical Halloween adventure from Storytelling and Beyond. If you enjoyed the magic pencil, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more spooky funny stories full of heart, laughter, and imagination. Jack-o'-lanterns, see you next Halloween. Ghost.